Hey everybody, this is Brett and I'm with Thomas here at the Dancing Rabbit Bike Shop Emporium, if you will. What do you guys really call it, Thomas?
Well, this whole building we call the OK, that's short for outdoor kitchen. But Bike World...
That's because it also has a kitchen, you see, y'all.
Yeah.
It serves two purposes.
Bike World itself is sort of strewn about in here.
Uh-huh.
It's where there's a lot of bikes stored and gear for working on bikes.
Right. So you've got a couple of nice stands here for throwing the bikes on.
Yeah. Along with assorted garden tools and miscellaneous stuff like hula hoops.
Uh-huh. And like I said before, anything with a red stripe on it is a commie tool, community, not communism. And so anyone can use it. And
true story.
Yeah, here's some of the bikes. That one is usable for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specialized bike and a couple of interesting bikes. Do you know whose bike this is here? This is an interesting specimen.
This cargo bike belongs to Ben, and then there's another cargo bike back there, that extra cycle with the teal frame. That's a commie extra cycle.
Man, several people could sit on the back of that and get a ride.
Yeah, and you put big saddlebags on there, you get a lot of cargo capacity.
Yeah. Show me some of your favorite bikes, Thomas.
You already got a picture of this one. This one is very, very special to me. It's just, it's got those big handlebars on it, and you know, coaster brake in the back. It's just, it's simplicity, it's classic.
It's easy to step right through. I like that.
Oh yeah.
But some people might say, that's a girl's bike, Thomas.
That's fine with me. But I don't like riding it I don't want to go very far because I don't want to have to pedal it up a hill.
It's a cruiser.
Yeah, but just cruising around the village, it's an incredible experience.
Be great at the beach, too. All right, so as you saw me the other day riding this Huffy 10-speed, and you know, when I was a kid, we made fun of the Huffies because those were basically just the most garbage freaking bikes from Walmart or Kmart or whatever. But it got me to the town and back, so anyways, you got helmets for anybody, well, I suppose those have red markers on them too for people to use?
The helmets aren't all
marked.
Aren't all labeled, but
okay.
People can find one when they need one.
All right, now we're going to go down the bike row in a minute, but first we're going to go into the kitchen and talk briefly about that for light purposes. It's getting later in the day, and anyway, so.
There might be like a half a dozen people who are using this outdoor kitchen, you know, open air. There's no enclosed walls in this structure. So right now, people just sort of come and go out here as they please, mostly in the spring, summer, and fall, and then it gets shuttered in the winter.
Do you know what this thing was originally? Just kind of like a workshop for the farm?
When it was a farm, this was a hog barn.
A hog barn.
And so when Dancing Rabbit folks showed up here, they had to do a bit of shoveling to get down to the floor, and so they put all that manure out there in that garden, and it's still a pretty rich garden these days.
Ah, cool. Let's check that out briefly. They've got a raised bed garden out here from the hog days. It's quite rich of soil. Okay, so let's continue with the kitchen talk.
Yeah, there's been, like when I first showed up here in 2002, this kitchen was a co-op that had maybe, I don't know, 25 people eating out here on a daily basis. It was sort of a different setup and all that. So now it's a little more of an intimate dining experience, but it still gets good use.
Now, the thing that I think that people will really find interesting about this kitchen is that people use this kitchen, from what I've heard, all winter long, right?
They can try. I don't know what you're going to do if it's like
are they
below and 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, maybe more so right during the day when it's warmed up a little bit. And
yeah, sure.
Yeah, but there is a kitchen co-op that's grooving in here this winter.
I didn't know that, but good luck. People, like right where we're standing too, this has been sort of an insulated core in the past too. People have bailed in the interior of this barn and then lived in it over the winter.
Wow.
A number of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now they've got a whole lot of good herbs and spices.
You've got graham cracker crumbs.
Lots of good stuff there, and all nicely marked. Coriander, dill, blah, blah, blah. There's your quinoa and your popcorn. Don't eat that. Oh, you got your corks. So yeah, what's over here? Sink. There's your sink. Now, bear in mind, for those of you that are thinking, I could never live this rustically. There are people that live here that do live a very rustic lifestyle. And there are other people that live in houses that look just like yours and not Beverly Hills, but, you know, more of your conventional houses. So don't go making shitty comments. Let's continue on.
It's just jam-packed with stuff out here because there's a roof. And so people got building materials and all sorts of things. Inner tubes for float trips and swimming at the pond.
And lots of bike trailers.
Right.
Now, my viewers know that I've got two of them at home, and I'm big on them.
This one was originally as a pet trailer. Put your dog in it.
Okay, so we're heading into Bike Row now here for Dancing Rabbit.
Some of these are pretty dusty and hanging up, and they might have been abandoned here or donated or scavenged off of the roadside. Who knows? But
there's Dennis's.
Yeah.
Dennis has his mark.
Yeah, they're mostly people's personal bikes are labeled, and commie bikes are labeled with the red tape, and then we got a lot of bikes that are just sort of for parts or to be adopted, or like this old electro-forged thing, Chicago Schwinn that weighs a ton. And
do you think there are any bikes in here that are actually such relics that they're worth money?
Well, not in mint condition, but like this is a nice 1972 Raleigh International chrome molybdenum Reynolds 531 steel. It's a nice frame. It's got a lot going for it. And there's some other kind of classic road bikes like that. Otherwise, and people have some pretty nice bikes. I mean, in general. But
are there any recumbents in here?
not in here. No.
No.
There's a number of people in the area with recumbents, but they're not in here.
How about an unusual bike? Are there any really unusual bikes that you might point out that people find interesting? Now look at that.
There's a homemade tandem.
A homemade tandem. Look at that.
It was last used. It was set up so two people could pedal power a grain mill. And
a grain mill.
Yeah. So we had a contest, and we had a grain mill hooked up to that with pedal power, and then we had 2 or maybe 3 different electric models, and the challenge was to see who could grind a quart of wheat berries, not just the fastest, but also to the best quality, fineness of grind. And the pedal power crew went through a quart and got started on their second quart before anybody else even finished their first quart. Then the chain broke, but pedal power won the contest.
Okay. All right, well, let's meander on back here a little ways and see if we can see anything else interesting. There's a bike Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Those are interesting. Those are the fold-up bicycles that you can take on a trip with you.
And somebody does have a recumbent here. I don't know when it got here.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
I don't know whose that is. Is that yours?
No. That's an interesting one, huh?
Yeah. And here's another bike Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another folding bike down there too. I mean, it's nice because there's a couple of train lines you can get to in an easy bike ride, and then folding your bike up and putting it on there is great.
Now look at that. There's one of them sleds. There's a sled for you.
Yeah.
When it gets snowy here. Okay. Well, Oh, look at that. Now that is an interesting trailer. Now, look at that, y'all. That right there is a trailer, and it looks to be about 8 feet long.
Yeah, I think you probably get 300 pounds on there pretty safely.
Uh-huh.
Maybe 4.
Wow.
And
It's got a frame that...
It's sized, the space in between these bars in the frame are sized to drop Rubbermaid tubs down in there.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a standard tote size.
That's cool. Yeah. Did y'all make that, or was it brought here?
No, it was purchased from a place that makes them up in Iowa, I think.
Oh.
Not exactly sure.
Now, there is like a... That's like a, what do you call those? A unicycle.
Well, it's not a unicycle that you ride. It was part of a Halloween
Sort of.
costume, actually.
Oh.
Somebody was Elliot for Halloween, and so they put a basket on this,
Mm-hmm.
and had E.T. in the basket, and then they were Elliot with the red hoodie, and from the movie.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was part of the costume.
And one thing about that, y'all, is that I've had fun. I've had quite a bit of fun, even though I've been doing my healing and stuff with my back and all that. But they have a lot of great gatherings and a lot of game playing and camaraderie here. And man, that's just about half the good stuff of Dancing Rabbit, I think. But today just stacking wood was kind of fun. Doing it in a line, like, what do you call those? When you're
passing it along.
Yeah, chain line.
Yeah.
It was actually fun. So, anyways, thanks so much, everybody, and have a great day.